Hello everyone, Bashar here. We are together with one Fusion calendar review video. So Eostrid's fragment event is here. We have a video in which we discuss her skill set in detail if you want to take a look. And in this video we will specifically be analyzing her Fusion calendar and try to get the most out of things here. This doesn't look like it's very optimizable, but it looks a pretty mild mannered Fusion calendar. It looks like easygoing. So today we have the finite and the champion training start. I would just suggest going for the champion training mostly and not for the finite, because as you can see we have the dungeon divers coming tomorrow. So I would suggest just doing the finite tomorrow so you get points in dungeon divers. And also tomorrow we will have a champion chase tournament starting alongside with the 2x on ancient shards. If you recall, normally we used to start fusions with summon rushes, but they have pushed, last week they have pushed the ancient shard 2x by 1 week, so therefore this time around we start with the champion chase. There is no big loss because it's a fragment, right? It's if it was a hybrid or if it was the regular fusion, then we could have summoned the epics during this one to get extra points. But yeah, this time around there is no such thing. You can of course fuse your broad moves or relic keepers, or if you have some doom tower epics at the ready, you could summon them. I advise against summoning legendaries for champion chase because summoning legendaries that you have fragments of because they are better used in CVCs. But if you don't really care about CVC too much, or if your clan is casual, so you can summon legendaries for a breather, right? Regular legendaries are going to be worth 500 points and the others are going to be 650 points, the void ones. If you have cursed remnants, you can also open them for additional points. It's going to give either 250, 350, or I think 1,000 points if you can high roll a mythical. And obviously there will be the opening of ancient shards involved. There is that. So what else do we have? On the 6th, the artifact enhancement will start alongside with Classic Arena. These are just kind of free. The Classic Arena is free, so you can sort out the loot that you got from the Fire Knight and get the artifact enhancement done. If you can't, you can jump into the Spider tournament that arrives the next day, and that should help you finishing both dungeon divers and artifact enhancement. So what I would suggest is, guys, wait 1 day, start Fire Knight tomorrow, do Fire Knight for 2 days, and when you're done, just transition into Spider when it's up. And as I said, and the campaign that you would be doing for champion training, it would also add up a few more points, so that should get all of these activities done. Then the second dungeon diver starts. That's back to back. That's good, right? There's no downtime. You can just continue Spider, and you shouldn't be, of course, overshooting the dungeon divers if energy is scarce, right? You should be stopping Spider as soon as dungeon divers done. Dungeon Divers 1 is done, and wait for Dungeon Divers 2 to arrive, then pick up the Spider, then when Dragon comes, jump into Dragon to finish the Dungeon Divers. Using the loot from Spider and Dragon, you can get the Artifact Enhancement 2 done. Then we have another champion training that starts. Just after that we have a Summon Rush, which features 15 fragments. And then we do the ice column for the third dungeon divers, which means there will have to be quite a bit of overshooting, but you can do ice column and campaign together to score some points. We finally have the second arena and third artifact enhancement. These days, guys, these are pretty much fixed. There are 2 or 3 dungeon divers most of the time. Most of the time 3. 2 is a little more rare, but yeah, it happens. Artifact enhancement is almost always 3 these days. Arena is 2. There are always the dungeon tournaments, 1 champion training event, and 1 tournament. Champion chase sometimes doesn't happen. additional events can take the place, and there is always the summon rush. So, and as you can see, the champion training tournament and the champion chase tournament feature additional 10 fragments to the lucky winners, and I think the winner and the runner-up gets that. So now extra fragments are of course meaningful, as you know, because you can use them in the fragment exchange chest. It is a bit of a laughable activity, I'm afraid, because I have been playing for 20 months now, guys, and after my first 3 months I have started doing every single fusion without missing anything, and I was getting fragments whenever I could, right? I didn't of course push for it very specifically, but I had some extra fragments and I turned all my fragments into chests, and I ended up with 19 high modern mode fragments, which means I probably am never gonna get it. Older players who had tons and tons of fragments converted their stuff. I think I'm hearing the highest is around 50s. And thing is, guys, once your chests are spent, you are not going to get too many chests, right? Because if you go all in on this one, right, and if you even win the champion training and the chase, which is a big thing, you are going to open 6 chests only, and 6 chests on mathematical average would give you like 3 or 4 fragments. The fragment drop rate is not very high. The number of fragments that are being dropped are not very high. I would be surprised, by the time their chests are spent, if a single person in the world gets high modern mode. I'm not talking about empowerment and whatnot, right? I'm just talking about being able to grab high modern mode. So that is a side rant. But all in all, of course, go for the extra fragments, because the chest can contain nice stuff like even legendary books, 5-star chicken, right? But you could also get brews or potions. There is that, yeah. But so I would say it is not worth trying to win these tournaments and go. So if you naturally win them, right, by all means do win them, right? But I don't think it's worth it to go out of your way and try to win these. I'm talking about the champion training and champion chase. If you can, of course, by all means, go for it. But what I would say here is, guys, try to grab all the fragments, right? Because if you are grabbing 110, that means you are going to open 2 chests, which is, a non-zero contribution. I am going to guess that Summon Rush will feature 5 fragments and 10 fragments. 5 fragments relatively early on, 10 more deeper. It could be 15 in one go, but I am more inclined towards 5 plus 10. And if you got everything, you can skip the 10 fragments from Summon Rush, right? I'm not assuming anything about the champion training tournament and champion chase tournament winning, right? That is very conditional, right? You shouldn't rely on it, because there could be someone else that could be heavily invested towards winning those fragments, so they are a little bit risky. But if you can, by all means. If you can't, you will have 95 fragments from everything else other than the Summon Rush, which means you can just grab the 5 fragments from the Summon Rush and be done. But as I said, I would be more inclined towards getting all 15 and grabbing the 2 extra chests, not for high modern mode, but for being able to grab the chest, and maybe I'll get legendary books, maybe I'll get 5-star chicken. Yeah, I think it would be worth the extra effort to grab the 10 fragments, but of course it will depend, right? If Summon Rush has the 5 fragments very early on and 10 fragments are very deep, let's say I have to open like 4 secrets to grab the 10 fragments without getting too much in between, then I think skip. So there is sadly not too much optimization involved in this calendar. It is pretty straightforward, but it is a very good natured fragment, right? And the champion is pretty good, so I'm all for it. And tell me what you think, guys, and see you on the stream. Bye bye.